Hi everyone, it's Norman Koshnik here. I've decided to come on pre the match today, which is match 17. Match 17 of the IPL 2022. And it's going to be, of course, Chennai Super Kings versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad. CSK versus SRH. Now, both teams have had very poor starts to IPL 22. And of course, we know it's way, way too early. With match 17 being one of many, many more to come to help decide where this competition heads. Both these teams having not won of important off the mark, you would expect CSK to be well and truly in favour and would normally be expected to win this. SRH have been in all diabolical form. Their players are very, they're playing well below their value, if you ask me. And SRH have been decimated through the off-season, and then they regrouped. They've still got Williamson there, but of course his injury concerns are there. And ultimately, you have a situation where you've got a coach in Tom Moody, who I haven't got confidence in Tom Moody at all as a coach. I think they've lost very severely when they lost the likes of Trevor Bayliss in their coaching ranks. And yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation which has unfolded there. Now, of course, you're all aware of the fact that these two teams are probably not expected to fit well. CSK won their competition last year. We mustn't forget that. We can't underplay that fact. But Dhoni no longer captain, Jadeja in the captaincy role. Is he appropriate? Will he take some time? It's all a matter of waiting and seeing, but it doesn't look good. Of course, Sunrisers Hyderabad have had some luck. They've chosen to bowl. They've elected to bowl. Not field, but bowl. Anshul Srivastava, how are you? FS, hello. Kashil Sharma, how are you? Have a great day ahead. Yes, we do. Got two matches, a double header, of course, with now the Chennai Super Kings versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. They're actually playing at DY Patil Stadium. It's rather interesting. The game to follow is RCB versus Mumbai Indians, which is by far and away a more, you would argue, substantial match. I cannot see CSK not winning their match. They're going to beat Sunrisers Hyderabad. I'm afraid I'm very much not able to even consider SRH winning any matches at all. They've got teams where the Sunrisers Hyderabad team, for example, has Abhishek Sharma. Williamson's captain. Is he really fit? I don't think he is. Rahul Chakrathi, he's reasonable. Aiden Markham should be playing for South Africa over against Pakistan, not here, but anyway. I think it's Bangladesh, but he's not. Nicholas Puran is one of quality, yes, but he's got the keeping role. Shashank Singh, Washington Sunderland's not bad. Kuma's not at his best. Marco Jensen, well, again, he should be playing for his country, not here. Umran Malik and Natarajan, after a long period, he'll be welcome back, but I don't know whether necessarily his form is there at all. Chennai Super Kings have got the old favourites like Gaikwad, Kumbalut, and Uthappa, Mohan Rayuju, and Jadeja. Great confidence players. And they won a comp. They know how to win. Shivam Dubey, Dhoni's still there. Dwayne Bravo, Chris Jordan. They've got what I would argue to be a sound, more developed side. In fact, the only changes appear to be Sunrise. So Wilson says, but okay, he has made two changes, leaving out Samad and Shepherd. And Shepherd, I think, should be in the side anyway. Shashank and Jansen will come in, whereas Jadeja is happy and only changing Thekshana for Pretorius. They're the two changes which are evident at the moment. Look, this is a fairly, I don't want to use a lackluster affair, but it won't be the most exciting match. The RCB Mumbai Indians is probably one that will have more significance, because I think you'll find RCB will start to basically assume some sort of ascendancy there, and they've got the players to do it. They've got the bowling strength, the batting strength, and RCB should be an absolute force. So I'm going to try and do this more often, guys, especially on the double header nights. Of course, I've been heavily involved with the Australia-Pakistan series, as you know. That's certainly something of an understandable situation that I was involved with, but I don't think we're going to see a hell of a lot that's going to impress us in this match. We're starting to build again. we're only on match 17. Really, I only see a bit of daylight after about match 45, 50. And that's way off. So I might just mention South Africa are 6 for 378 at the same time as we speak here. It's just interesting to see what, with Tapa there. Just coming up on the screen. It's good to have Narendran back, I must say. It's a rather exciting turn of events, really, having Narendran. He was amazing back in Australia. There's a lot of injury and form problems since, and will strengthen Sunrisers harder. They need a lot more than that. They need also confidence. They just don't seem to have that at the moment. It's just one of those situations where we just don't know, what to make of the coaching of Sunrisers harder, but squarely fits into the situation of their so-called coaching situation. I don't think that's nearly intact as it should be, and that's where a lot of the problems basically start and finish, I'm afraid. Anyway, we'll just be interested to see what happens. We've got some few minutes before the game actually starts. Obviously, again, these sides are rather it doesn't seem that the actual how can I describe it, the actual auction worked very well for some teams. It was particularly good and probably understandable for the likes of Gujarat and obviously Lucknow. They've obviously lucked in. Lucknow, Super Giants, of course, and the Gujarat Titans both have had very, very good starts, as we know. The table suggests that. And there's been a lot of discussion that the SRH changing the batting order will give CSK their first victory, maybe one open with Tripathi or even Markham. They need to change the batting like those Sunrisers, but CSK should romp it in. But we just don't know. It's too early to really make. It's really just not. It's just not. It's not fair to be judging this way. And they seems to flex their muscle. They know they can come out of nowhere and improve their situation quite greatly. Let's just have a look at the table. Let's look at the table here at this extremely early stage. Kolkata Knight Riders have been the most impressive. There's no doubt about it. RCB, I think, have been too, but they're ranked at the moment 5th. And as I think some of the commentaries have been saying, we want to see not a competition between 5 teams. We want to see 8 teams out of the 10 be able to feature and be able to go for the finals. We want to see that. We want to see the top 4 be fought off by 8 teams, not 5. And the reason being to make it a more interesting competition, because they have got 10 teams now. You almost can put a pencil through Sunrisers Hyderabad, especially if they lose today. Mumbai Indians have already lost 3. If they lose today against RCB, that makes 4. But we know they can do it from there. But I'll tell you what, they're going to be pretty hard-pressed. Chennai really, really need this win. But then again, they won last year's comp. We can't denounce them. Delhi Capitals have been middle-ish. They haven't quite worked out their team properly with Warner now in there. Punjab Kings have been up and down. They've won, lost one, lost one. They've all over the place. It's up and down like an undulation. Lost, win. Inconsistent. You'd argue the next match, if they're going to go on this form, will probably win next match. So RCB have had 2 strong wins and are on a momentum push. So that's how I would expect them to beat Mumbai Indians. Himaj Rahela, is this Australian side able to beat Sri Lanka? Now that's a bit down the track. This is a discussion about the IPL, Himanshu, but I think Australia will find it very difficult to beat Sri Lanka at home. But I said that about Pakistan, and Australia did win against Pakistan, so they'll be in with a very good chance. We'll see how they go, but it's still a couple months off there. But I think at this stage, you think they have a reasonable chance. Again, Kolkata Knight Riders have had a very strong start. Gujarat Titans haven't lost a match. Lucknow lost their first, but they've won the next 3. And Rajasthan Royals, at this point, are in pretty good shape, having only lost their last match. But it's extremely early on. And Gujarat Lucknow, who both won almost all of their matches, could fall out of the 4 now. We just don't know. It's way, way, way too early to actually make that judgment. But yeah, at this point, this particular game sees 8 versus 10 as the current competition sets. They're both on no points. It'll be the first one between them. And Mumbai Indians They also be left on the bottom if they lose today, which you would think, if form's going to be an indicator, RCB should win that. But we just don't know, do we? We just don't know. There's been several upsets already. Let's call them upsets. Manu John says CSK will be so aggressive today. They may need to. I think KKR and GT is final. This two teams of good players. They do. I like Lucknow, to be honest. Sunrise Hyderabad up to bowl. That's correct. They're up to correct. That's what they've done. I've said that as well in the discussion. Yeah, well, 10 minutes to go. Look, the only certainty that I've got at this point out of these top 10 is that Sunrisers Hyderabad will be virtually the bottom. I can't see with their playing power being able to get out of that position. Nadrajan there and Jensen, yes. Both left-handers. They both can't play all the time. Yeah, it's too early to predict finals. Of course it is, Manu John. I know that. That's exactly what I'm saying. But out of the teams which I think won't make it at this stage is Sunrisers Hyderabad. I'd be surprised if they go anywhere off the bottom. Yeah. And Gujarat Lucknow, great starts, but you would not expect them to continue in that vein all the way through. KKR, RCB, a two-team which I'm looking strongly at. You can't knock out CSK and Mumbai Indians yet again. They're starting off very, very, very slowly indeed. There's a lot of discussion about that. Okay, so South Africa at the moment are 6 for 380. 6 for 380. With Wayne Mulder and Keshav Maharaj. Unbelievable. Is this got out? Maharaj is not at 55. He's doing quite capably for a lower order batsman. They've lost their 7th wicket there. In fact, that was the wicket of Wayne Mulder, was bowled by Taju Islam, who has now got himself 4 wickets, it looks like. So he's doing very well. So they've got 7 for 380. Fair score, but I'm very, very keen in that match to see 2 people bat for the Bangladesh team. And they are, of course, 2 men that are pushing to reach 5,000 test runs. That is Tamim Iqbal, the opening batter, who's on 4,788, I think it is. So he's a couple hundred runs off getting 5,000. And, of course, the other is Mushafir Rahim, who's also, I think he's actually less than 120 from reaching 5,000. So they're both pending 5,000 runs getting, which is great. That puts them on the map, the highest run scorers for their country, and onto the map. The top 5,000 runs gets on Quick Info, for example. Mominul Haq, the captain, is also featuring quite highly. Those 3 are going to have to bat well. I think this IPL is different from other IPLs. I do agree. I think it's going to be one of the questions I've got at the IPL now with 10 teams, unless they really streamline the timing of them and have more double headers, which it was so long last year with the fact that it's split between 2 sections where it felt like it went for 6 months. At least it's condensed. They're using minimal grounds in Mumbai and Pune. It'll limit the distances and travel, and they can be more consistent. They need more double headers than they have, and that's happening tonight with our match, which is really good. South Africa is an unpredictable team in the world, so they need to play well against South Africa at home. Yeah, they do, and I think they will beat South Africa. I know they don't make South Africa, they still don't make them. Mumbai Indians is in a dual situation. Well, you would argue they are. That might bring the best out of them. That game follows in some 4 hours' time. I'll try and cover that with you guys if you want. But at this point, Chennai Super Kings versus the very lowly rated Sunrisers Hyderabad, 8 versus 10. So RCB versus Mumbai Indians are in a better position altogether. So that's the way it feels. That's the way it suits at the moment. Yeah, I'll just hang on a second, guys. Just 1 second. 1 second. Oh, actually, I'm live on television now. As you all know, I have a 90-year-old mother, and that's unfortunate. Australian tour of Sri Lanka begins in June, but the situation in Sri Lanka is too bad. It's a very relevant point, Manu John. The whole situation in Sri Lanka looks so bad that I'm almost doubting the fact whether they will actually entertain having the series on there. If it continues to worsen, we will actually have a civil war potentially there. Well, there certainly is an uprising as we speak. There's a lot of protests demonstrations going on in the centre of Colombo and in the various satellite cities as well, like Kandy and down south in Gaul. So it looks particularly bad. Rajapaksa is corrupt as all hell. So is most of the Sri Lankan government. And I'm sorry to say, even their opposition is very corrupt. In fact, they're riddled with corruption throughout the entire Sri Lankan parliamentary system from top to toe. And if anyone tries to tell me otherwise, they're not telling the truth, because I know factually that they are all in it for the money. They have ripped the country to shreds. They've borrowed heavily to the Chinese and other countries. The money's gone into people's pockets more than not. There's been infrastructure built, but they haven't bothered to do with the main things of food, shelter, and amenities and essentials. The population has been suffering. It's a very rich country, but it's poorly mistreated. Sri Lanka is, I would argue, much more corrupt than a Pakistan or an India or a Bangladesh or any number of other countries you want to mention. It's right up there as one of the worst, and it shouldn't be. It by no means should be, but I'm afraid it is, having had a lot to do with the country. I love the country. I was married to someone from there who was not well, as I think Mum told most of you. She had a stroke. But other than that, it seems to be a situation where, management, you say Pakistan comes on a version of failing. Well, it is and it isn't. It's nowhere near as bad a shape as what Sri Lanka is. You can't even begin to compare any other subcontinent country. So please don't try to compare those other countries. In my opinion, Sri Lanka stands on its own with its level of severe and utter corruption to the point of its embarrassment, really. So South Africa are now 7 for 381. Let's have a look here with a live card there. We've got Maharaj on 55 and Simon Harmer on 1. We've only got 2 batters left. I think they've only got, they've got 2 batters left. And South Africa are, in a bit of a diabolical, well, not diabolical, they're in a pretty good shape, but Pakistan were good in their series against Australia, and I think Bangladesh can be good against South Africa as well. They were beaten heavily in the other tests, but we'll wait and see. Okay, so we're only 3 minutes away from a start with the CSK Sunrise Hyderabad. But you can't not look at the strength of this CSK lineup. It's quite a substantial one, isn't it? We must not forget they do have Dhoni, they do have Jadeja, they have Dwayne Bravo, Moeen Ali, Utapa. They have a lot of great players in that squad. Yes, that's right. Chennai Super Kings versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad game is about to start, with RCB as in Royal Challengers Bangalore coming up later against Mumbai Indians. We had teams like Lucknow and Gujarat excelling well beyond any expectation that we would ever imagine to have. And it's going to be interesting to see how they end up, because they both have done exceptionally well. Let's have a look here. We've got the minutes to sign up for. I'm not sure whether we may not be able to get coverage of this point anyway. But well, as we know, we've said that Sunrise Hyderabad have won the toss and actually elected to bowl, so they'll be at bat second. And by that means that CSK will go into bat first. CSK will win the game. You would you would actually think it should be a cakewalk. It should be a very easy win for CSK. But so early in the competition, we just don't know how badly or well teams are playing. But both of these teams have not had a win, so there'll be an element of desperation there, certainly from both, and especially CSK. I think Australia need to change their T20 batting lineup. Smith gone back Inglis and bent the last 5 T20 Saga on, or like look. I'm sure we're not really in the mode of T20 for Australia at this point. They're in a hibernation as they go into the IPL. There'll be a rejuvenation as we go along, but Stark will probably, and Ben will fare highly, and so will Inglis. They'll be all there. Nathan Ellis, up and down form. I'm not exactly too excited by him, although they did win that one-off T20. It was a one-off T20. I'm not taking too much form out of that at this point. But sure enough, Pakistan played particularly well. They didn't win the test, but they certainly won the one days, and they lost that one T20. They should have had 3 T20s. I don't know why they didn't, but of course IPL would have been one of the reasons why that didn't happen. Let's have a look if we can see any evidence of. Here we go. Indian Premier League, here it is. And Bhuvanesh Kumar is warming up there. We can see he's a key player for Sunrise Hyderabad, but geez, he can't do it alone. With Williamson playing now, Williamson has been so-called injured for some time, yet he can play the IPL. It was probably needed for for his test team, to be honest with you. But I don't know whether how 100% Williamson is, but we'll see as time goes on. Important part of this team for sure. But yeah, is his fitness up to it now? Jadeja needs to free his arms a bit and be a bit more aggressive, and in their batting especially, but certainly their overall game approach. Let's just see how we go here. We're about to start. CSK versus beautiful day. DY Patel Sandleton. There's Bush. That's my first ball to Utapa, I think it is, who's facing. Beautiful, sunny, bright day. It's good to have a game during the day. It's been most of the games are held at night, and I want to see more games through the day. I know it's not necessarily perfect viewing time slots, but they need to. Donny is not in best form. He isn't, but it doesn't always have to be. It's his mentoring around the background is very important. Well, there's an edge, and he's gone through second slip there. Nice big fat edge there off Utapa's back. Garkwad's with him. Utapa, of course, immensely experienced. Kuma's a bit disappointed, but that was nicked. Would have been swallowed by a second slip catch for sure. Let's have a look here. Beautiful seam positioning. And Utapa played it, and he was second, third slip would have gulped it. Yeah, it would have been probably more like a third slip, which you don't have in T20 format normally, do you? He's played another shot and that's gotten through. Utapa's element of luck there on his play. This is match 17. So I will attempt to have matches on every day now, as best I can with availability. I'll do my best to do that, but we might have 2 or 3 days where we won't, but we'll have a summary of all the days in one. That's what we might do. I think that's more worthwhile because it's an intense time slot, especially the later one. Yeah. So there we are. Lovely drive there. Won't be a sec, guys. Just one. Give me. Sorry, guys. I'm just having to make some coffee. My lovely mother. Satvik Bakari, do you think Rosario Shepherd could have been? I think could have been given another chance to Marco Jensen. Yes, definitely. I think Rosario Shepherd has not been given a fair go. I think he should be in the side. They brought Nada Rajan there, Marco Jensen, Ansha Shanka both in, Al Samad. But Sunrise Hyderabad need more than that. They need much more than what they're throwing here at the moment. The CSK batting lineup are pretty strong, and after first over, there were already 8 runs, a sizable total. Marco Jensen, despite being in pretty good form for South Africa, will need some time to get into the run of things. But the batting line is just not strong enough. Williamson on his own can't do it all. I had a very poor effort from David Warner last season. I haven't replaced him well at all. Sunrise Hyderabad probably the worst out off the coach. Very little time for them. They're not going to do well. With that Deepak Chahar, CSK is really struggling to want to. Yeah, absolutely. He was a very significant part of CSK, no doubt. We'll see how Marco Jensen's first over goes. Very lucky man. He's certainly been able to get contracts in the IPL, being a net bowler to some of the Indian players back then. And Gaikwad, who's a fabulous player, has not struck form yet. Well, again, it's so early, guys. Are you making coffee? I'm making coffee. Yes, I'm making coffee. You can hear it in the background. Not for me. My 90-year-old mother is wanting a coffee, so let me get it for her. Jensen's looking pretty perky with his bowl. We got a coffee, guys. So just keep talking to me. Keep asking questions, and I'll keep answering. So CSK really are in dire shape this season. They're going to have a sunrise like that. You think that's a fait complete. Very low level matchup because when the RCB won versus Mumbai is more critical than Mumbai Indians. CSK, well, they're struggling. That's it, guys. Just try that. Just try that. Here, guys, don't worry, I'm just not very far away. This was a very impromptu session tonight. We'll get more. So the so-called runs and averages. Dhoni scored 4.835 and Utapa scored 4.821. So Kohli's got the most at 6.341 in terms of runs in the IPL. That's very interesting. And a lovely pull shot there off Jansen. Nice bounce, actually. And it looks, well done to get that back. It was Washington. I think it was Washington. I'm not sure who that was. Oops. Be so careful when you're pouring coffee over things like tea bags. Okay, lovely stadium. Magnificent, beautiful, very nice stands. I rather like the look what I'm saying there. What makes Shaheen Afridi so special today with new balls? Shaheen Afridi has been excellent. He's got this knack about him. Really, really impressive. Can Kohli and Rohit come in form today? Well, it's going to be, I think one of those two are certainly going to need to step up their game. I think Kohli's surrounded by some great players. I believe Maxwell's playing today. In fact, most of the players are on deck now from the Australian-Pakistan series and other series, South African series. They're pretty much all back on deck. And there's a lovely drive there. Gaikwad, beautiful shot off Jensen. So 16 off the first 2 overs. They look pretty much on top of it, don't they? It was another full ball that was there to be hit. Gaikwad, what a great player he is. So on to the second game for a moment. While we're watching the CSK now, it's none for 16 after 2. The Tapa's on 11 and Gaikwad's on 5. With the RCB match versus Mumbai Indians, RCB will be bolstered. They'll have a number of players back, including Maxwell, I believe. In the case of Mumbai Indians, they should be also, you would say, bolstered. And it will be important for either Sharma or Kohli to stand up for their respective sides. And you would argue that Mumbai Indians got more to play for, but RCB need to play well too. Well, there was a slashing ball over point, backward cover, if that's a word. And he didn't get 4. But Utapa and Gaikwad, those two can unleash. You bet they can. Where you're shocked the way Cummins played against the Indians, and I don't think even Russell's played it. Well, no, I've seen Pat Cummins do something similar before, not just in the IPL, but for both New South Wales and Australia. He can do it. but he really let go. He seemed his mind was clear. That was the important thing. His mind was clear. He played some back. He's not big enough physique. But yeah, Russell was pretty impressed. So were we all. Shocked, I wasn't so much shocked, but I was impressed. If Indian players like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, etc., not informed so any of the selectors a big headache, they will, but it's a long way off. Those guys are always first pick. Bhuvaneshwar is there, and Gaikwad looks pretty solid to me. So they're already on 20 into the third over. The CSK score will be high. There's no doubt about it. I have got Sunrise Hyderabad got the power of their batting. I don't think they have. Natarajan and Jensen will actually suit these batsmen they've got in. Williamson's with that elbow injury, was out for a long, long time. Didn't play most of the time for New Zealand, but he's in the IPL. His first match back is the IPL. And why is that? I'm afraid to say it's money. It's money. There's nothing less than money, which is, I don't know about sad, but it is somewhat disappointing because we don't want to make it all about money, but I'm afraid the world does revolve around money these days, doesn't it, guys? It does, and I'm afraid that's exactly where we lose out when it comes to, what was it? Yeah, it's a rather sad situation, to say the least. Let's have a look here. So, guys, I'll be coming on more regularly from now on. So, your Apple iPhone? Yeah, I use Apple iPhones, correct. And I'm on the iPad now. This is, oh my God, very low numbers on the viewing side of things. I'm not expecting a miracle. I know that we need to build this up again, but we will, guys. We'll build it up and we'll get this into a very good situation. Let's see if I can build a new one. IPL 2021, we'll add that too. But the CSK, okay. When we see New Zealand versus Australian series, that's a while off, I think. Yesterday, that overthrow from Odean Smith cost Pope the match. It was just not needed. Otherwise, TATA would not have come on the strike. You can't talk that way. Swaddy did come on the strike, and he did play very well, and he won the game for them. So you can't talk about what might have happened. It's what actually did happen, which counts. And that's where we're really going to have to understand that. So, yeah. So, D.Y. Patil Stadium here in Navi, Mumbai. Sunrise Hyderabad won the toss and elected to bowl, as you know. Match 17. It's all happening. We're a long, long way off from anything too dramatic in this tournament. But, you know, all having said and done, you have to give credit where credit's due. And, you know, to bring in two new teams. What is that? Okay. Bringing new teams is a big risk. They've previously failed with the two new teams, haven't they? Let's be honest, they have failed. They actually did lose those two teams in their respective competitions, and now they're back to a situation where, you know, they've somewhat regained their status there. Okay. It's a long way from a perfect situation, but the IPL is a long term. Usman Khawaja confident that Australia is successful in Sri Lanka. Well, with Usman Khawaja there, they will be successful. I've got no doubt Usman Khawaja will be a significant part of the Australian team when it comes to the challenges of how they'll play in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, you would think, would be underperforming. They've lacked a lot. We may not even be going there. Let's not forget there may be an opportunity where we don't actually get to go there. Australia may not go there at all because of the very fact of the conditions that they have currently there. It's awful, to say the least. Utapa is out. Yes, you are right. And Markham there, Utapa's just walking off now. He's out for 15. And Voskin there, and he's tried to clobber it, and he's got it basically mistimed it completely, hit it straight up, and right down Aidan Markham's throat, which is a bit unfortunate. Tupper was looking pretty good. Although he's done his job to get the 25 runs off very quickly. So D.Y. Patil Stadium there in Navi, Mumbai. Out comes Moeen Ali. Always a bit of a shock when Moeen Ali comes to the first drop. I don't know. He can play well. No longer playing for England in any format, I believe. Still playing IPL because of the money. The pitch looks rather, underdone a little bit. They're playing so much on these pitches, we mustn't forget. Moeen Ali, he still looks relatively fit, so that's a good sign. Oh no, the famous CSK colours, obviously they have the ton product as their bats. Do you think GT and KKR are looking very threatening teams on this IPL? Well, at this early stage, yes, you would. Certainly KKR, Gujarat and even Lucknow, yes, but it's too early for those teams to really know. I feel like Raj will get 50 plus runs in this game. Oh, let's see. Ruturaj Gaikwad is a good player, but not playing well on an international level. He really is someone who's good. So what type was Washington Sundar come on? A forgotten man for India of late, hasn't he? In the long format. Don't forget what he did in Australia back in Brisbane. Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar, magnificent. India's only got 11 places available in their team, hence they tend to struggle when it comes to. Well, they all want to be in the side, don't they? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that is a problem source because you have only minimal positions to fill. So Ruturaj Gaikwad, who wants to be at the high level and probably deserves it in some ways, but he can't just squeeze into a group of players that are just so highly respected. I mean, that's the problem there. You just can't oust a Kohli. You can't see this as the guys go. It's just not going to happen. We have Indian viewers, we have Pakistani viewers. I know we'll be covering the PSL when that comes up later in the next year, and obviously the IPL for now. Do you think the teams have most suffered from mega auctions are CSK and MI? CSK didn't seem to make any decisions at all to buy many players. Mumbai Indians didn't either. Lucknow and Gujarat, it did favour them, of course, and understandably so, because they were new teams and they had to start from scratch, and people wanting to impress and be a part of that squad, and that happens. So we'll try and have this live program on more regular. Not sure whether it's really what we need to do, but we'll see how we go. But the RCB Mumbai Indian game will be particularly strong later. If Aaron Finch retired in 2023 World Cup, who can be the captain of Australia white ball? There's a whole range of players that probably will be. There's a whole range. I still reckon Kawaja needs to be fit in some way. He's such a good player. But Aaron Finch retiring in 2023, that's still a way off. So never you mind about that. It's a long way off, guys. Long, long way off. but nevertheless interesting. So Moeen Ali's one off one, guy got 16 off 12. Sundar had 1 for 7 off his only over. After some 4 overs, CSK have kept their rating 16, 24, 30. So they kept their 8 runs and over average. They got Royaldo, who's a good player, come in, and they got Jadej, we know how good he is. Dubé, Dhoni, class, Bravo. Okay, not young anymore. Jordan still bowls well. Thekshan, now he's a very good spinner from Sri Lanka. Interesting selection today. Suddenly Sri Lanka have had a resurgence of their players being a part of the IPL. Something a season or so ago when there were virtually no players from Sri Lanka in the IPL. CSK are not good in this IPL. Well, it's very early to say, but haven't got a great start. Ravi Bishnoi performance IPL Punjab used to make him sit on the bench. Well, Ravi Bishnoi certainly has played well. Got a sick feeling that SRH are going to win this. I don't know why I'm saying this, but although CSK should win this and win it well. Here we go. Marco Jensen's back on. Is he? I think he's got the ball in his hand. He has. Having a chat with Kane Williamson. Natarajan hasn't bowled it either. Oh, no, he's slashing the outside off stump. Yeah, the shot that TATA played was a real rank slog. It just didn't work, I'm afraid. Certainly not been impressive. This tournament has been a bit lackluster. And I'm not blaming the tournament. It's a magnificent. It's the best IPL. It's the best T20 tournament in the world. Unfortunately, it's just weighing a little bit time-wise. It's got a great physio there, we all know. Is that Riley Meredith I saw in the background for CSK, or was it a mistake? I didn't see who that was. Beautifully placed. That shot there. Which Australian player can make an impact in this IPL? Well, Pat Cummins has already done that. Glenn Maxwell certainly will as well. I don't know about the others. Cummins, definitely. What I'm not convinced about, but certainly Cummins is certainly one. Is certainly the leading one. But Maxwell, Daniel Sams, give him a go. He'll get up there. He'll also make an impact. How will you rate young gun Matthew Gilks, Max Bryant, and Jason Sanger? Well, I've already told you what I think of Jason Sanger. Matthew Gilks and Max Bryant are way off even being considered. So let's not talk about those two guys. They're way too young. Jason Sanger is a Australian under-19 captaining his state now. He's going to be a test player before too long. I've told you about that already. Mentioned. Marco Jensen looked particularly good in South Africa. He's not getting a lot out of the pitch here in India, in this pitch in Mumbai. Bowling accurately, we'll give him that. Certainly. Well, guys, this is my first proper preview for the IPL, match 17. We'll get more and more into that as time goes on, as it becomes more crucial, and I'll cover it. I'll be more deep with it, but I will be following. I'll give you summaries throughout the series, so stay tuned. I guess TATA likes playing against Punjab. Remember what he did to Cottrell 2 years ago. Yeah, there's an association with some players against certain opposition teams. You're right. The liking of the bowling, the conditions, the whole thing, the vibe. It's true. Well, there's an intent. You're right. TATA, that was a sensational way to win a match. And again, Pat Cummins' 50 was amazing as well. And I mean, the ones that impact, Mitch Marsh will impact when he gets there. Maxwell, without any doubt. Obviously, Pat Cummins. They'll all be very impacting. So the 1 for 36 after 5 now. So it's dropped to 7 and over. Jensen going for none for 12, so he's going for 6 and over. Yeah, Utapa certainly was the aggressor early on there, that's for sure. So TATA IPL 2020, match 17, DY Patil Stadium, Navi, Mumbai. Mumbai obviously is Brabourne, the Gold Cricket Club of India. They also will use, as we all know, Wankhede as well. There's 3 grounds, and then the ones in Pune as well. So here we are, Natarajan for his first over, coming in the whole 6th over. Let's see how he goes. Oh my God, you couldn't get a better start. And he's just bowled neck and crop. Gaikwad's been bowled first ball by an absolute Natarajan screamer. Absolutely amazing. Natarajan's bowled this beautiful in-swinging delivery. It's clean up Gaikwad, neck and crop. That's not a bad way to come back to play at the top level. Beautiful delivery, beautiful seam position. Really, it came in off, man. One of the best deliveries I've seen in a long time. Gaikwad had no idea. He was beaten by an absolute corker. Had no idea what was going on. That's why Natarajan is the bowler he has, and he could be the difference. Got a gut feeling that CSK are going to struggle a bit here, even though I would have expected them to do better. Now, who's coming in now? It's Rayudu, isn't it? Rayudu's coming in now. Gaikwad didn't last long. Ali's still there. I think CSK have won the competition last year. They can be very smug, even though they haven't won the games. The ground's got a fair bit of green on it. Not cut low at all. There's a little bit more give in that pitch, certainly. There we are. Rayudu come in the back. Let's see. Oh, it's a strategic time about between over 6 and 9, so not yet. Oops, Natarajan lost his run-up. My rugby league team, South Sydney, won their game today against St George. I was on the way to the ground and my mother unfortunately fell over, so I had to come rampaging back and help her. So I didn't watch the game live, but I watched it on replay or on some was live on TV, that is, not on the live stage. But yeah, they won. Oh my God, he almost did the same again. Right, that was very loose looking batting stance. He was another ball was similar, another beautiful. Oh my God, it was a magnificent delivery that dropped Gaikwad. Beautiful seam position, beautiful swing, beautiful delivery. Natarajan is a bowler of some class. And there's a character there who's got the yellow paint from. He was rather aggressively taking a few steps down. That's right. Judge wanting to negate his swing, pick up a single off the 3rd ball. So the first ball bowled, 2nd ball went through the gate almost, and the 3rd ball ended up being a single through a loose shot, to say the least. Pretty outstanding first 3 balls here from Natarajan. Jadeja leads the strike race above Dubé. A lot of injuries, haven't there, throughout the series? A lot of probably overuse of players' arms. Well, Natarajan was more of a hamstring injury. There's Molinelli's just tingled down the leg side. Unfortunately, so that was 4. Yeah, will be signalling there 4. Yeah, it's clearly left his hand, and it's continued on. Yeah, and it's collided with the fence. So a quick look at the. Yeah, it definitely was for them. So, Sadvik Bagara, what are you asking? Did you see when Rajasthan Royals played their first match, they gave tribute to Warren? A bit underwhelmed, sorry about that. Anyway. Rajasthan Royals, or do you mean SRH? Moeen Ali not playing any form of international cricket at all now? Oh, you mean Warner as in Shane Warne? Sorry, I'm thinking Warner. I didn't quite get that. Yeah, Rajasthan Royals, of course. I saw that, yes, because, of course, Shane Warne was their captain coach from 08. I'm thinking David Warner from that. I was a bit lost with that one, sadly. Look, Rajasthan Royals, yes, of course, Rajasthan Royals had Shane Warne as their captain and coach the first year, and they won the first inaugural IPL, this being what, the 15th? Oh, wait. Yeah, it's 15, isn't it now? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is the 15th season of IPL. 15. Gee, it makes me feel old. And Rajasthan Royals have won that very first one. It can't be taken away from them. It's a beautiful ground, this particular ground. I'm very impressed with it. Chowdhury, Jordan, Bravo, and Thakshana, and obviously Jadeja bowling, Moeen Ali. A few bowlers have 1, 2, 6 bowls. Jubair, I'm not sure we can bowl a bit too. Hello, Norman. How are you? This is Samantha Hawashi saying hello. It was that way. You're right. Some cool young kid there with the glasses on there. 2 for 41 off 6, so they're just a tick under 7 now. Well, he's only faced 2. Umran Malik. Let's have a look at him. Accurate. Will Gujarat Titans do Rajasthan Royals in 22? Being the first time they come in and win the competition? I don't think so. I would argue Lucknow are more likely to be the side. But anyway, South Africa, in terms of RR won the IPL, I know that. First year. The Dream 11 has, so far in this game, Puran, Natarajan, Ali, and Utapa has underperformed. Murray looks very fidgety on his feet. Not a lot of certainty about where his feet movement is in this game so far. Well, we're losing some power here. I'm going to have to be careful how much power I lose. Very low numbers of watching this. IPL is never traditionally a format that's watched heavily. The ball's gone. There was edge that through slips, but of course that's still 4. As good as a straight drive. It counts for the same run. No, being the most weak team on paper under what dog and a win this one. Are you talking about Sunrisers Hyderabad now, or who are you talking about, or Gujarat? Because Gujarat they're not an underdog. They're a first-year newcomer, but they've got some good players. They can pull it off. Sunrisers Hyderabad are certainly a team that's not thought of very highly at all. Malik seems to be getting a bit of luck with his movement. Oh, Jesus. Ryuja was chasing that one. Ravman, Powell, and Matthew Wade have not yet been impressive in his IPL. Matthew Wade is not playing high-level cricket anymore. He did win the World Cup last year, yes. but he's probably past his best. SRH has a good solid team. SRH are not, they just need 2 wins and all or something. They'll be difficult to beat. Well, I'm still saying they're not going to do well. What an innings for a whole 20. Those were 2 6s were monstrous. And at the last 2 balls, too. We were talking about Gujarat Titans being the underdogs. Well, they could do a run or something else. They could. Yes, they could. But I think Lucknow, I like the ones to be up there. I think KKR, Lucknow, RCB, and my God, the fourth thing could be anyone. I've gone off Delhi Capitals a little bit, I'm afraid. I was very big on them last year. They didn't perform that well. But they're a chance. Certainly. It's a real struggle tonight. Real struggle. Nominally on 9 off 10, Rayudu 5 of 8. Sundar has replaced another Rajan, so he wasn't very long at all. CSK 245 off 7, so they've gone under 7 and over. They're going to have to pick that up now. Waiting for the night clash between Mumbai and his RCB. I'm Bora. I think that's going to be a huge match, yes. But I thought he'd come on a bit earlier today. It's 93 Ks there. That's delivery from another Rajan. Look good. Look very. What a magnificent first ball he bowled. What a magnificent first ball. Yeah, it's difficult to know about these tournaments, about how significant. Again, only 17 matches and we're way too early. So watching a Sundar this nicely. Oops, I've lost power on my. I think I have to go to backup mode. So I think Bakaria thinks. I don't think after what Cummins did that Sam's MI will not take him in the team anymore. I don't know. I think it's always him. Which channel is IPL broadcast? Foxtel. Foxtel do it all. So I never miss a beat with Foxtel. They're very keen to get that up and running. And we're going to get that up and running now. Where is Foxtel? There it is. Foxtel. I call it Foxtel Go, actually, because it's what it's called. And it's on the higher rank. It's on 501. Channel 501 it is, actually.
Brilliant field of young talents ready to show off their skills here.
Oh, they're showing the Grand Prix as well. Man, CSK, struggling with Raj not informed. Deepak available after the 7th match. Yeah. Well, it's way too early. They can get away with some early losses, but not forever. They can get away with some early losses. Where are we? 501. There it is. So, although Foxtel don't put, like we would put CSK versus SRH, well, the way that Foxtel abbreviated Chennai is, say, CHE versus HYD, Hyderabad. They don't quite abbreviate the way that we would do it. Well, I say we, the IPL would do it. 250. Run rate of almost 8 overs, 6.38. It's pretty okay for the moment. Let's have to escalate. Pitch seems a little bit too paced, a little bit slow. Except for when Marco Jensen is bowling nice and full. That's 8 overs gone. CSK for 251. And guys, I'm going to sign off now. Umesh Yadav has been very impressive. What do you think? I think he has been. Something Bakari, yes, Umeshadov hasn't. He's probably got a point to prove as well. Probably got a point to prove in the scheme of things. I'm going to guess that's why he's doing that. So, Melbourne F1 races on today. Yes, it's correct. They're showing that some of the stuff now. Abhishek reckons CSK will lose. Well, it doesn't look great for them at the moment, to be honest with you. We'll wait and see. I might have to go and get the charger, guys. Umran Malik seems to be bowling. He's got a very Pakistani name, hasn't he? But he's obviously not. All right, guys, just give me a second. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm going to get the power cord because my computers are starting to need some power. Back in 2 seconds, guys. So keep watching. Keep telling you watching. You okay, one? You just slipped. You didn't hurt yourself.
I slipped just on the chair. Directly next to the phone. That's why they checked me pop out. The boss helped me up.
What? Yeah, they reckon the election's going to be called tomorrow.
What?
The election's tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
They're going to call the election.
Tomorrow.
It's going to be announced. It'll be May 14 or May 21st.
The one when. Now, mine boys only that you get to the tablets on Monday, please. I need some. I can't just all the tablets.
First thing I'll do.
That you get it out, that I'm just for the peach.
Yep. All right, guys. I'll do my little contraption here. Just give me a sec. You can watch what I'm doing, everyone. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Very unprofessional day, guys. Oh, sorry about that. Not planned. And of course, when you have a situation where you have another falling out, the police going on, all sorts of stuff happening here, guys. It's been pretty damn disastrous. We're going to fix all that right now. All right. The score is 2 for 58, I can see. And well, that was a powerful looking shot over the top there. Was it 6? What was that? It was a 4. I didn't say that. Oh, it was only a single. Should have been a no ball, shouldn't it, really? They didn't go quite as far as I first thought. Some slashing shots going. It was a magnificent shot just there we saw from Ryodu, who's very aggressive indeed, isn't he? Very aggressive player. Need to just get some juice here, guys. Just 1 second. I am still here. Get the Wi-Fi on. Been here the whole time, guys. Just how to get some Wi-Fi happening. Seems like it. What happened there? There we are. Power is a very important game. Look, talking about power, Sri Lanka having lost power. I say power, electrical power. They've got power, unfortunately, from the wrong people. So Dinesh Karthik has always been impressive. Finished the match in the end, being a good finish for RCB. He's very much undervalued by the world and very much valued by RCB. Put it that way. But there's a promotion going on for. Obviously, we've got major motor racing going on in Australia. We've got the golf, where one of our players is particularly heavily involved. Cameron Smith, isn't that right? Himanshu Rahela, can Shaheen be able to do it? Well, why can't he do that in the World Cup? Electricians will soon even more in Australia. He should be able to kill it. India versus Pakistan. Well, you would think so. You would think so. It is. I think it's funny how the Indian Premier League say CHE is Chennai, not as we would say CSK, and the Sunrise Hyderabad is HYD, not the SRH, which we used to say. Hockey was Pat for overall captaincy. Finchy is not just good enough. I don't think Pat Cummins should be captaining all three formats, to be honest with you. But that's my thoughts. And at the moment, it'll leave Finch right there. He just won a World Cup. I think we'll see him end the year as captain, maybe another World Cup victory, and then go on the 23 with another format, the ODI format, and he can well be favourable there as well. But I think you might see him after that stop. Still way off. We Own the City is a new show being shown. Okay. Rowett needs to open the stance when facing Shaheen. Why does Shaheen take right Rowett Golden Duck? Well, let's just see what happens. The strategic timeout, which annoys me, it's just an advertising blitz. Mo Ali on 19 not out, and Ryuga on 13. Scores 2 for 63 off 9. The run rate is bang on 7. So at this stage, if they continue on this way, they'll be 140. But I think they're going to look for more of a total close to 180. Washington Sundar on from against Mo Ali. This is England versus India almost. Where you'll do certainly an aggressive mindset. Oh, and Ali's very heavily favoured, isn't he? Very highly regarded by a number of people, including our little Delhi Capitals have got their little so-called fan meetup. Delhi Capitals last year, I was very, very confident they would do well, and they unfortunately didn't. So Subhash Chandra Bhatt, you can't see Australia going through to semis in this year's T20 World Cup, given New Zealand, England, and Australia in the same group. Well, it's going to be hard for them. It's 2 for 65 here. Madhurajan was so impressive. His first delivery, he took a wicket. So he's only bowled the one over and got 1 for 5. Now, are they keeping him towards the end? I'm assuming they are. Otherwise, why would you bowling on and got a few more wickets while the leg was hot? Anyway. We're going to call an election in Australia tomorrow, which means we'll have an election in Australia May 14th. He gave himself some room. He got away with it. Didn't exactly hit it where he wanted to, I don't think. But I like his attitude. Let's have a look here. Analytics. The TATA IPL 2022. This is again match 17 between Chennai Super Kings and very lowly rated Sunrisers Hyderabad, which may end up winning today. Having said that, which is always the danger, what you should never do is knock aside when they're down, because they end up showing you that they're not as bad as what you think they are. Batters are not timing the ball well at all off this particular pitch. Subhash Chandra Bharat, DC lost so many good players after the mega auction, like Darwan, Rabada, Avesh, Stoinis, Shreyas, Ashwin, Hatmaya. They certainly did. They certainly, the biggest ones really were Shreyas Iyer was a big one, and Rabada. And probably Hatmaya. They did lose a lot. You're right. They picked up Warner cheaply, relatively cheaply. He's not. And Mitch Marston, not a bad selection. Mitch Marston, not a bad selection at all. No, Ali's 22 or 20. We're still keeping above 100%. Okay, Jensen coming in. And it hasn't quite gone where, hasn't been dropped, just almost carried. So IPL's back on, match 17. We've still got a truckload of matches to go. I'm not I need to find out how many matches there are in the IPL. I don't know offhand. We'll find out for you. Yeah, drop catch by Sundar off Moeen. He wouldn't say it was dropped. It was out of his reach. Well, they're already past halfway mark in this innings. It's 2 for 69. So the CSK have to get their act together. 70. It looks like it's going to be 4 there. It certainly is. Royudu's hit the ball beautifully off. Jensen is bowling quite loosely, to be honest with you. Tom Moody's waiting. I don't think much of him as a coach. Not this format. He's not a good coach. His tactics are. I'm not impressed by what his tactics are, to be honest with you. He's there for money. He's not there for any other reason. Right, just got a hold of that. Looks like he's found a gap and he's going to get 4. He's looking very aggressive at the moment, and they need it because the total started to wane a little bit. They're batting over 7 and over now. Road looks very much wanting to attack the bowling, and he's got away with it. Michael Jensen's offering that right amount of pace actually for the bowlers to sort of set off. What do you think, guys? Make some comments. Owen Ali is on 23 of 22, and of course, Rayuda is also 23, but off 18. Jensen's gone for none for 21. Rayuda's just doing a Matthew Hayden going down the wicket as quickly as he possibly can. No, that's necessarily. There we go. That was really something. There we go. All right, guys. I'd love to know what he's saying, but let's have a little bit of a listen.
Don, thank you very much for your time and your thoughts. Pleasure, guys. 11 overs completed, 17.
Yes, 11 overs, 78 for 2. That means they're averaging over 7. 170 will be a winning score, I reckon. Do you reckon, Subhash? 170? It's going to be hard to get, to be honest with you. They're just over 7 at the moment. That means they'll be on 140, 150 with an extra whack at the end, maybe 160. 170 is going to be a very hard amount to get. You'd have to think. Today's you would think will be very significant here. But the next match, RCB versus Mumbai Indians, that'll be huge, especially from the perspective of the importance probably for RCB. Natarajan coming on for his second over, he had a magnificent first over, in particular first ball. Went right through Gaikwad. Now let's see how he goes in this particular innings here. Over. Everyone else has bowled 2 or 3 overs. He's bowled just the one. They have to think that they want to keep him on for, the 12, 14, 16. That's probably what he will be put on for to make a difference now. Right, it was very aggressive. Quite as accurate as he was with his previous overs, first delivery. In IPL 2018, Rayudu hit 100 off 62 balls. He looks like he's pretty menacing when he does that. Very aggressive. Who was your best young 11 all-rounders? Marco Jensen, Cam Green, Sam Curran, Washington Sundar. Well, Marco Jensen, I don't think is up there. Cam Green certainly is. Sam Curran's kind of wavering. Washington Sundar's up there. So I would say Cam Green followed by Sundar, followed by Curran versus Jensen. RCB, along with Gujarat, had the best bowling line of the season. I would agree with that. CSK now 2 for 80. Natarajan, second over, looking good. So the partnership between Ali and Rayudu was 45 off 38. Pretty impressive. Robin Otapa was looking good, but that was a shocker of a shot that he played. That was a beautiful ball that Gaikwad got out to. Oh, no, he's still solid. And he's dropped. Should have been caught then. Should have been caught. It was kind of regulation, that catch, to be honest.
Yeah, they do come very fast. Sometimes stand in the ring there and drift all.
You had it. When you have it in your hands, you should catch it. Really is having a go, though. He's still having a go. He hasn't had much luck, but he's there. Oh, Ryder is looking good. 27 off some 23 deliveries. No one else is taking his time. That was a drop catch. Yes, I agree with that. Australia a bit shrunken and drew it, so we can say Australia best in the world. I wouldn't say that. Do you believe in superstitions? Today, 9th of April, so Ryoja is number 9. He's going to have a good day. Why not? Why not? You can think that. Why not think that? Judea to go Dubé, Donny. Love to see Donny back. He's 12 overs gone. We're going to be on until the 20th over, then I'll have a break, guys. But do watch, view, like, and share the whole broadcast. I'll get more people on. A bit of an impromptu. Umran Malik, they seem to be going for him. He's back on it to replace Jensen. With 8 overs left. I love the stadium. Really, it's got a bit of character about it. The crowd's there, but in part, not all. No one steady as a rock, 28 of 26. Roju, 27 of 23. 50-run partnership, 42. Solid. Happy chaps in the middle. Batsmen always happiest when they're out in the middle. Fast bowlers always happiest with the ball in their hand. This one's short. And the one's just casually flicked that and has gone way over the 6. He's looking at Moeen very relaxed. Their run rates jumped to 7.46, so they're getting up over 8. It's on 60 plus. It's pretty good. So superstitions maybe also favouring Moeen Ali, not just Ryoja. Oh, I love that. Moeen Ali, 38. Yeah, another 4. That was a bit streaky, but not even intentionally streaky. I think there's Norman. If Australia need to win this T20 World Cup, they need to improve their batting. Need some 360-degree players like Inglis and some bench openers. Like, no, I don't care. But anyway, but Australia won the World Cup last year. They had a lot of improving to do. They just kept maintaining what they did and have a bit of confidence and everything go their way. So far, 13 off this over, and Moeen Ali's gone 39. Yeah, CSK are just nicely picking up the pace, and they're now heading for 7.66, so getting close to score 160, 170 plus, it'll be more than enough, I would argue. Cam Williamson, I'm just a bit shocked that he hasn't played for his country yet. He's here, all ready to go here. Roshan Singer, did you catch up if I'm qualifying? So yes, I did. impressive, as well as the golf. All right. I'm keen to watch the 20 overs and we'll finish there, huh? Will it be your favourite team in IPL, Norman? Okay. I've always maintained Kolkata Knight Riders as my favourite team. I have liked Delhi Capitals last year. I have a soft spot for RCB and even CSK. Having been to those locations and watched IPL in both Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai, and Delhi. Been very fortunate to have seen all that, but I think KKR is my favourite still. But that doesn't mean they're going to win, but they're leading at the moment. Another strategic bloody timeout for Seat Sports Drive. Oh, God. High performance tyres. So what's Tom Moody's out of the field having a bit of a chat? Oh, I don't know what it's creating the coach. That's all. So will there be due in any of this year's T20 World Cup? So not likely. Not much due. No. Won't be cold enough.
There's a lot you can do in just a couple of seconds. You do it just one hand. Beautiful. I just loaded up on the bunnies tonight. And glory, glory to South Sydney. It's shaking easy, man.
Did he say glory, glory to South Sydney? The term isn't, imagine that the slang word for sick means ill, but when you're fully sick, you're also cool now. Doesn't make any sense, does it? At all. Too many commercials. We need to see cricket. Will there be as I said, dew is a factor in India, not so much in Australia. I don't think it'll be in that manner. There'll be a problem. Is there any schedule for this year's Board of Gavaskar Trophy? No, not yet. It's a bit early. We're still trying to figure through the Sri Lankan series and get over that, and World Cups, and then of course England will play India in England. That one-off test and some short form matches. In fact, I'm hoping to go, but well, it's all about my mother. Okay. Umran Malik is the fastest bowler in the IPL till now. What do you say about this pace? He seems okay. Seems pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. That's what I think Topper stood at. Mansha Rahela, I think in this year's T20 World Cup, it doesn't matter. I'm seeing BBL for the team. Yeah, okay. Finch may continue until 2020 as captain. Who will be the captain after? I've already spoken about it. I just don't know at this stage. It's too early to say. He's playing the Board of Gavaskar was in February, March. That's held in India, correct? Not in Australia. So Chennai, the Fair Play Award. Mumbai, this is the first. Kolkata second, Punjab Kings the Fair Play Award. It doesn't mean much to me, I'm afraid. So run rate of 7.46. This is coming into Washington's last current run rate will be 149. 8 will get 153. I think they're going to be pushing 160, and I think anything near that. I think earlier we talked about it'll be a good enough rate. Yeah, 9 and over, they get 160. The 11 and over, it's 174. The 9 and over is gettable. Of the last 7 overs, certainly is. Although here we have Washington coming on. Not quite getting onto that. Oh, this time some, but not all. Please make a look at the bites, says the Secretary Jai Shah. That would be a hard one. I might ask Boria to help me do that. Should I need to accelerate now? You're right, Himanshu. I think they're going to, and they're set for it. And they lost a few wickets, so they've got plenty of batsmen up there. Only two in the shit, two down. They've got Jadeja to come.
As you said, Swanee, that 150, 155 would be a good score.
Oh, geez, he looked like he had it all worked out there. Didn't connect.
You've got to try and get to that 170, 175 mark.
They got Dubé and Jadeja sitting there. Oh no, he's on 40 off 30 balls, and Rahul just had less strike. He's 27 on 26. It was eventually going to come. He practiced the ball before, but he's in fact he's caught. He has not got enough on it, and Wishnasura has taken that wicket early, which was pretty important. They could take 175. They won't take 175. They'll lose Rahul. I'll tell you that now. Only one off the first three balls. He missed the second one. He tried it. Then he got a hold of it, but not enough on it. Nicely, Markham's having a good catching day, that's for sure. Really threatened, but he only got 27 on 27 in the end. Not many people there on the lower level, some on the second level. Here we have, I'm assuming it's Jadeja. Doesn't look like Jadeja. It doesn't look like Jadeja. Oh, no, it's Moen Ali. I think Dubé's come in ahead of Jadeja. And DY Patil Stadium in Navi, Mumbai. Yeah, Dubé it is, yeah. Should you use jute balls and red ball formats, an opinion in terms of what? Short format? No, they're going to use white ball every time. What do you mean? What series are you talking about? They do be big lump of a lad. Let's see what his hitting strengths are. He's got some 6.5 overs to show it. Geez, he played that well. Only in a single though. One rate's dropped a touch. Are you coming to teach me World Cups? Of course I am. It's in Australia. Of course I'm going to do that. How much? Moen Ali has to step up now. He's on 40. He's tried to do a bit of a scoop shot and work. And I'll watch until the entire CSK innings, then I'll cut off, guys. Washington has not bowled badly. He's bowled quite well, actually. He's held them back at the time when they're really going for it. So they've still got Jadeja and Dhoni to come, and Bravo, all can hit. And Chris Jordan's a bit of a hitter too. They should be going crazy now. Chennai needs to make sure they get 140, probably won't be enough, you would think. Utaba 15, Gaikwad 16. Aidan Markham, not known for his bowling, has played a T20 career 73 matches with 12 wickets, so he's not relied upon. CSK 3 for 100. Yes, absolutely. 2023 World Cup is held in India, but India is struggling for their best 11 and 90. Oh, I don't think that's true. Oh, no one else seems to be doing okay.
Washington Sundar bowled beautifully today. Definitely could be a challenger for the Upstock's most valuable asset of the match. We're going to 2 for 21. 7 dot balls.
Okay.
Under 5.5.
We then see some fireworks here. I'm going. Dubai should be tearing in the market.
Well, he's got a bit more in common with you, Swanee, not reason not.
Dubai should be hitting 6 after 6 off of market, I say.
He's also very handsome. Cut away. Should get 2, but not exactly head between the wicket. He's deep. Boundaries are nothing.
Run rate is very fast and dropping this. We're only down to 7 now, which 140 is probably not enough. Great ground. Love this ground.
About 45 minutes away from the Mankini Brabham Stadium. Gorgeous play. Smashed away on the left side.
Oh, no, he's just nonchalantly hit this for 6. Beautiful shot. Went back. Markham's a crap bowler. He's bowled a rank short ball there. David Shepherd and Steve Buckner is my 2 favourite umpires. Yeah, I'm on more. I would agree with that. Ben McDermott will probably bat either 1 or 2 or 3 in the batting line.
Question for you. Do you think Markham's will be bought on because there are 2 left-handers at the crease?
No, he's having a great deal of fun. Is he out? He is. He's caught. Markham's crap bowling is taking a look at the wicket. It's Santa, isn't it? Moen Ali hit a very good 48 though, 35 delivery. It's pretty damn good. Normally would be 6, but didn't quite get on it. He's done well. Now Jalasia is in with just over 5 overs left. Bangladesh players complain to the SRH umpires. What's your view on that? Well, I would too if they're not being fair. Jalasia's got to take charge very early. Markham's an ordinary bowler. The keeper was waiting for him. Five overs left. That's 30 balls, 108. If they get the snap run of everybody's 138, it's not enough. They're 20 more. Nicholas Pooran's having a bit of a chat with Williams. No Dhoni, no Bravo, no Jordan. I think Shana and Chaudhary are down the order as well. So, yeah. Novajan coming on for his 3rd over. That's the 16th over, and probably the 18th over as well, or maybe the last one. Wait and see. Actually, no, this is Novajan's still got 2 overs left. Bully's got 2 overs left, so there's 4. We might get one point to bowl on the last one, and then we bowl the last 2.
3 overs at the back end. So he's got to come on and bowl on the slog overs. This is the Swiggy incident. Oh, it's 5.
Yeah, so Natarajan and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will bowl the last 4 of the last 5. Maybe they'll throw a marker in for one more. Who knows? But that's it, really. I guess we are looking at a target of 130 to 155. 130 is way too low. 155 is more like it. Rank the craze in sports Australia amongst at least cricket, AFL football. Cricket, AFL footy certainly is up there. Rugby league football and cricket are up there. Rugby, football, you're saying soccer. Probably it's really seasonal. And cricket and tennis in summer, AFL footy and rugby in the winter. That's what it really is the way to look at it. That's the way Subhash Chandra Bharat, that's what I would say. Oh, God. Dubose hit it straight down the throat. First ball, second ball, in fact. Well, third ball, for that matter. Natarajan's proving his way. Now, the man going out to bat is none other than MS Dhoni for the last 4 or 5 overs, and we should see some interesting fireworks now with Dhoni and Jadeja. And Dubose hit it straight to the man there, sitting there at deep first slip. Chino's 5 for 110. They're probably falling away a little bit here now. Dhoni's come in. You would normally be excited about this, but not a young man anymore. Mahi. East to West, Dhoni is the best. He certainly has been. Right, using this. Is it Stuart SRH as his bet? Of course, that's Spartan before. Favorite team is SK. Your favorite team is CSK. No, it's not. It's KKR. Your favorite tennis player, Nadal, Federer, or Djokovic? Federer for sure. Djokovic's not a hating. Nadal, he's okay, but Federer's the number one.
Over 220 matches and nearly 5,000 runs. He's got good mark straight away. That single greeted with rapid score.
Dhoni's off the mark first ball. What do I make of the Aussie-India trade deal? Good. My favourite chocolate is just Cadbury. Google shows SRH 58%, CSK 42%. Fair. A lovely drive from Jadeja. Classical shot, but no 4. Well, normally when you would have Jadeja and Dhoni in a T20 match in this situation, it'd be very buoyant, wouldn't you? Sixty, 24 balls. Looks like 150 is more likely the total they'll get. Whereas Mosen said, well, he's got COVID-19. Chituatia and Cummins got more eyeballs into IPL than these times. Yeah, they have. So we've got Nutter's got 1 over left. Boogie's got 2, and there are 4 overs left. So I'm going 18, 9, 20. So someone's going to bowl a 4th over. So Boogie's coming on now at the 17th. He'll probably bowl the 19th. Nutters might be kept with the 20th. So it looks like we'll have Boogie bowl 17 and 19, probably hold Narajan back to the 20th. So we'll find a bowler for the 18th over, whether it'll be Umran or Jensen. Wouldn't be Mark, we wouldn't think. Also, big news in Australia cricket revised contract list. Didn't watch the news there. Well, Buckle, Dodo, there wasn't really much to say. Kane and Jai Richardson didn't get their contract renewed, and I don't think Wade did either. But they're still in the overall spot. Stoney needs to play fast, yep. Got a single.
Still one of the fastest between the wickets. I love about him. From ball one.
Made it easily. Boogie 79th, that's right. Nutter's 20th, I reckon. Jansen won't. I think they'll keep Nutter's to the last over. Yeah, Ben McDermott was unlucky, but doesn't mean he won't be selected. Just because he doesn't get a contract doesn't mean he's not selected. Beautiful delivery.
How much do you think is enough for CSK to defend you? Tell you what, I reckon anything over 131 demand shouldn't do that. He's practicing for his coaching career once he's finished playing. Nick to the sleeps in the morning, very important skill. Yeah, anything over 130, 140 is very tricky to chase. It's so slow.
Jadu is the captain. A lot of work to be done. Yeah, that's true.
Taking the pace off the ball, and then bowlers who can mix it really well for tourists. Bravo.
We've got what?
Mix the pace up well.
22 deliveries to do it.
Again, running the first one hard. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar with the chase.
Well done.
Into the batsman. Just nudge it. It's not even across the 30
One of has dropped below 7.
I say for tourists, he's not even playing, so he did well.
Made it easily. The Judasians. And that is no slash, even though he's there on. Do you know contract fees per year? It really, it's not that straightforward. The contracts vary. It's rewarding. What's the news you have got around Sri Lanka political economics? Well, Michael Dada, Sri Lanka's an enormous mess. Rajapaksa has been a bit of a crimp for some time. He's taken all the money and all the loans from China, whatever's gone on there, it's gone to the wrong places. So they're not, the supplies have to come through, milk powder, electricity's not run properly, all stocks and supplies have been wasted. It's all gone into Rajapaksa's pocket, and the people are revolting. And if he doesn't go out of leadership, they'll have a civil war yet again. But this time, not about race or about religion, but about a person.
Big show's back as well, isn't he? Then Maxwell back in red and black. Something to look forward to.
There's only 3 overs left after. There's only 117. Social media is burnt in Sri Lanka. I think so. Himacharela, who is your long-term opener for? Well, for Test format, Usman Khawaja. So I don't talk. Let's just leave with Khawaja. Matt Renshaw's still there. Jason Sanger. Diney's obviously out of form. 18 deliveries, 135. They're going to run a ball. They're going to double at 36. They'll give him 53. So that's the difference here. 135 to 150 odd is what they're looking at. So Marco Jensen's coming on now for the 18th. That leaves Bulby for the 19th and Nutarajan for the 20th. I'm a fan of Nutarajan's bowling in T20. He should make it to the World Cup if he's fit and in form. I would agree. Totally. Beautiful late swing on his first wicket when he took Gaikwad. Not unlike what Shaheen Afridi does. 17th over was pretty ordinary, Marge. Only 4 unscored. You're right. He got left arm bowler bowling 2 of the last 3 deliveries, overs. Chilasia immediately knew what he was doing. We're going to see him go crazy now, I'd say. 121 for 5 off 17.1 overs. They're going to need to skedaddle. Skedaddlers and hurry up. Way outside stump and he's yanked it around. Yeah, well, any 11.35 they can get. Yeah, you're right. I think anything over 150 they won't be able to get.
Tailing in. That's the way to go. Yeah, brilliant.
So some great shots here. And then like 8, all right, let's just see, 135. They're not going to get 135. They'll go much higher than that. They've got still 2 overs and 4 deliveries, 16 deliveries. They'll get 158. Then he's trying to hit it over the top and he's out. Going not what he in the form that he used to be in. Dhoni's not the person he used to be, which is fair enough. If I had a choice between Bishnoi, Chahal, Chakravarti, and Chahal, for one of the bottom, and say which field would you pick? Chahal. Bravo can hit, guys. Well, don't discount Bravo's hitting ability. Bravo can certainly hit. I want to get these overs done, then we can move on. Just depends on how well CSK bowl. TJ Bravo's got his own bat naming going on. Yeah, after the week of Moen Ali, CSK struggled in batting. You're right, something. Harry, you're totally right. Two overs left. The form below 7 and over now. Bravo's played 155 IPL matches for 1,538 runs, which is pretty impressive. Strike rate 130. He's got the goods there, and he bowls well and feels well. Today's got to hit a number of sixes now. Driven beautifully. Well fielded.
He's everywhere. He is everywhere. In those orange boots. His little legs going around like a cartoon character. Fast runner. Glorious on drive.
Beautifully driven. Beautifully driven by Jadeja. So we've got my playing 11 for stadium this week when it's Warner, Finch, Mitch Marsh, English, Maxwell, Matthew Wade, not Wade, Cummins, Mitchell Stark, Adam Zandler, Johnson, Wade out. You're probably going to have to put English in the keeper and find another batter, or put Agar in there. So 2 overs left. Can they get 2 overs of 10 plus?
Left. And the educated guess once again would be that one will be bowled by Natarajan and the other one.
Tikshana, his power play would be games of CSK today. Keep an eye on him today. I will. So really, we've got Natarajan's bowling. Now I'm confused. He's bowling the 19th over off the 20th. So they're keeping Buvy for the 20th. It looks like a bit of a swap around there. I would have kept Natarajan for the last night. Run rate is almost dead. Why Wade is that? He played Chris Knocker and Panthers in the semi-finals. Yeah, he mean it's with the World Cup and he played the final. So yeah, just he's out on the outer. Missing Dhoni's old vibes, Norman. The helicopter shot, by the way, a legend, Norman. I know he's a legend. And I'm disappointed too.
So crucial for Ken that he goes. See how these last sort of balls.
Just despair in the crowd, isn't it? Hey, they're hard-earned money to come and get a ticket. Obviously to watch the game, but more importantly to watch him as an owner.
Beautifully bob on those, right on the toes of Jadeja there.
Yorkers in the end overs. Look at the Aramco, purple cap, Lindergaard and Natarajan.
He's taken 6 wickets, I think, as well. Out of 9, Chahal 7, Chahar 7, Bravo 5. Is that what was on the wickets taken? Is it? No, or purple. I'm not sure what that was about. Terence Aldrin's here. Opening batters and opening bowlers are like a problem for CSK this year. A little bit. Another Rajan's bowling like a champion here. Should have bowled the 20th over. Anyway. Beautiful first delivery. Bravo of old, I would rate. Your thoughts on Spinner Mandela and Jemima Rodriguez in the future? Well, they're both good players. Stars. They're already, it's not about being the future, it's what they're doing now. They're already legendary. There's a women's IPL next year, we'll see some fireworks. So it's 2 balls to go from Natarajan and an over from Buvy. Bowling very well. CSK only 128 for 6. They should have got more than this. But we don't know how they're going to bowl. And call the wide. Not necessarily. Should have bowled a Yorker. Geez, that bounce was at his own feet. Natarajan's got 2 for 20 or 3.4 overs. And a very good Yorker, and should have stopped that. Today's has certainly picked up that nicely. So 1 for 33, 6-1-33.
Basically a punch. Pure timing. The thing I like about that John as well is he doesn't really run in super fast. So I do think those Yorkers hit you a lot harder.
They only had 6 off and over off his bowling. Oh, today's just hit beautifully there. Hit a 6. The man to finish, isn't he? So, remember last Harshal Celtics hat-trick against MI? Yes, I do. Your best swing fast bowlers, Mitchell Stark or Shane Freddie. Shane Freddie at the moment. Today's is on 23, scores 139. 1 over left. If they can go for 20, they're going to do well. They'll win them the game. If they're going to go for 20. So today's is 23 or 14. Narajan finished 2 for 30 after his 4. But there's over 7 in the end. Pete was on 6 there for a while. Buffy to bowl the last over to Jalasia and Bravo. And there's 6-1-39 CSK. At this point, you would say it's not enough. I'd like to see 20 after 7. That'll bring him up to a 160 victory set for Sunrise Harbour, which will be 8-0, which will be very, very hard to do. But they're going to need the Jalasia to continue on. Dhoni's a shadow of his past, isn't he? No doubt Jala's just taken that mantle now.
I think they're ready to go. Moving to bowl the last.
Oh, massive wide to start with.
Because for someone like Bhubaneswar Kumar, one side is really short. That's exactly what DJ Bravo likes to target. But this was the last ball of the last over. Missing that length.
Captain's innings certainly is Bhubaneswar Kumar is struggling to turn his best chance to put out Lisa. Yeah, well, they're going to need 150. If not 160.
Yeah, a couple of short thirds, a short fine.
Bravo very nicely hit that for 4. He's all experience here. All experience.
Already 5 runs for the Chennai Super Kings.
But they got poor on there. Bravo is not clicking well. It's just clicked there. I know, John. We'll see us go up in their account today. You would think so. I have a feeling SRH won't go well. We'll see.
It's interesting. You look at the wicket keepers nowadays. The last couple of overs, they sense that batsmen will run, so they tend to think that
So they're reaching a 7.5 now. They need to get up over 8. Means 160. We'll see whether we've got 4 deliveries to get 4 4s, 4 8, 12, 16. They can do it. They get 4 4s off the last 4 balls.
sensible, yeah. The wicket keepers I've known, I wouldn't want that sweaty inner glove to get on the cricket ball. Tend to be the smelliest garments in any cricket training room.
This is perfectly made for Judation. It's like, I think in Australia versus South African final. No, I don't think so. It has to be wide. That's a wide. Yeah, it was wide.
Slip catchers have to dive, catch it without gloves, so they've still got patterns.
Nicholas Prime's going to have to do some pretty heavy hitting if he wants to win this match.
Seen some hilarious ones over the years where keepers have tried to throw the ball with gloves flies up one way or the other.
Not the greatest of totals, but it's all right.
Ensure that every little leap is overturned.
That again should be wide. Is that a wide? That's another wide. Yeah. That's a fair call. That's wide.
Sort of don't mind giving away that wide, trying to get inside that blue line. So like you guys say, one run can make a difference, and the keepers finding ways to stop the run-outs.
So 7 off the over so far, only 2 legitimate balls have been bowled. And today's just got to hold it. Has he got to hold it well enough? He's out. With 3 balls left. It didn't quite get on with it.
Doesn't make it look that simple, but take the catch anyway. But today just got for 23, CSK 1.7%.
3 balls left. And Chris Jordan, who can hit? He's going to have to hit. A West Indian and a man who's English but has probably West Indian background. So 147 is probably not enough. If these 3 last balls go, he could go for like 150. So no ball. No team has ever defended Caesar so yeah, that's probably the case.
So that's in the air and falls quite safely between 2 fielders. You mentioned that rule. I think it's a fabulous rule. I think both of us would have got lots of wickets and not given away as many runs. This rule has been there for a long time.
So they made 150, so the run rate's over 7.5. With 2 balls to go. 2 sixes will bring it up to 8. That's what they're going to go. If they can get 2 sixes the last 2 balls, they're probably going to win the match. Well, he's not got 4 there, so he got 2. 152. $7.66. Well, that's a reasonable total. Probably 5 to 10. Probably 10 runs too short to be certain of their victory. Let's just wait and see. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13 off the last over so far.
That's gone straight to no timing there. But DJ Bravo sprinting back for the second.
15 off the last over, they get to 154. So the run rate is 7.70. Sorry, Australia is different batting side as combined terms. Yes, it's true. All right, guys, that's it. CSK after their 20 overs, a 7 for 154, batting a strike rate of 7.78. So 155 will win it for Sunrise Hybrid. You would think they won't get it. That's my understanding. All right, guys, that's the end of today's broadcast. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see each other tomorrow. All the best, guys. Don't forget to